Here in Memphis, upsets aplenty. Here at the basketball tournament 2019, two teams still alive in this region. The 6th seed Louisiana United and the 8th Jackson Underdogs. One will emerge and head to championship week in Chicago. It's next. You're watching the basketball tournament on ESPN. A beautiful Sunday afternoon here in the Memphis Regional, Roan Fieldhouse, the site of our broadcast, where Louisiana United and the Jackson Underdogs, 2 of the 8 teams, and the only 2 still standing. One of them will head to Chicago for championship week. The Jackson Underdogs in dominant fashion yesterday over the Southern Gentlemen. Louisiana United taking out the very athletic Bluff City squad. Happy Sunday from Memphis, everybody. Matt Martucci, Tim Scarborough. One of what is 4 regional finals on our hands today, 4 different sites. 4 teams will head to Chicago. Who's going to do it here?
You know, the way it's been going, Matt, I have no idea. But what I do know is seeds 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are already gone. This is a 6 versus 8 matchup. But that 6th seed, as we remember, Louisiana United was a team that pushed overseas elite to the limit last year, so we know what they can do. I expect they can make it, but you never know. Never count out the Underdogs.
Yeah, the Underdogs, a group of high school friends and rivals from 70 miles east of Memphis, and they play with a chip on their shoulder, led by this guy, Jalen Barford.
Yeah, they may be underdogs, but this Jalen Barford is the big dog. 35 points yesterday. He was unguardable at times. An NBA G League player. He brought a full clip to the dance yesterday, and boy, was he letting it fly.
And Louisiana United, their best player is their GM, Tyron Johnson.
He was the GM, put himself on the roster, and it has paid dividends. Tyron Johnson, one of the best players in this region. He has shown it on display, hitting a big Elam ender yesterday to send Bluff City packing. Hopefully, for his sake, he can do it again today.
And whoever comes out of this region will get the winner of the Wichita region, which starts next weekend. Syracuse at Greensboro. Richmond gets the Lexington winner. And Carmen's crew, already emerging at Columbus, gets the winner of Salt Lake. Starting lineups this afternoon are presented by Air Force Reserve. The 8th seed Jackson Underdogs, coached by Dexter Williams, who a lot of folks on the TBT staff felt like they could emerge out of this region. Terrius Johnson, the other one to watch, in addition to Barford, had the big opening round game and hoping to propel them into Chicago. Uncharted territory, had never been past the second round up until today. And Louisiana United, former Ragin' Cajun Brad Boyd, their head coach. Patrick Richard, Marcus Posley have both had big first 2 rounds. And they have the right combination, the right cast of characters for a roster that only plays with 6, now 7 guys. They've added 1 more.
Yeah, Bernard King showed up today, so now they'll have a little bit more in the tank, which means psychologically you can go just a little bit harder knowing that you have quality coming off the bench. But you look at Tyron Johnson right there, and incidentally, I guess we should talk about these uniforms as well. Both these teams have the same color scheme, so one had to wear the TBT alternate jersey, and the team, I guess we decided the one with the roster was smaller. So even though the higher seed is the Louisiana United, they are wearing the alternate jersey. So the numbers are a little different, but we know these guys by now too.
Yeah, I was going to say, honestly, it's only for academic purposes, for the stats and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just so they know who's who.
They know. Not for you and me, we know. So Tolbert to jump.
And Pelham, Jackson in white. And Louisiana United, the blue and the red with the white shorts. And the Underdogs wasting no time. Go right to Johnson and Barford.
Isn't it interesting in this era of open post offense at all levels that we're seeing a lot of post-up activity and guys trying to own that block. We saw them posting their guards early for Jackson. No dice.
Richard with the rebound after the Barford miss. underway in Memphis. One team will emerge here, 3 others, Greensboro, Lexington, and we've already had one at Columbus. Carmen's crew, mostly Ohio State alumni, moving on. Richard missed, Posley there to clean it up, but short.
And usually the hustle plays come from the boys in white. The Jackson underdogs, they outwork you and they try to outlast you, but Long right there with a little stroke from the free throw line.
And Juwan Long, the former Murray State racer, who has a game winner in an Ohio Valley Championship game under his belt.
He and his brother, number 21 as well. Both of those guys putting pressure on defense early, and this is what they do. It's what they've done over the years, and certainly this week.
Tolbert goes glass and able to match.
Jordan Tolbert was ice cold yesterday, so if you're a Louisiana fan, good to see him hit his first shot.
Yeah, goose egg in 29 minutes yesterday for Jordan Tolbert.
But you know what he did do is get that big offensive rebound and assist to Tyron Johnson for the Elam Ender yesterday in a very close finish against Bluff City, the number 2 seed in the host team.
Tolbert with a good save after Johnson came down with the steal. Wow. They nearly give it back.
Some 50-50 balls.
Shot clock cut in half. Richard spins it out.
Richard a little angry with himself, left that one short.
Johnson filling the lanes with Antoine Long.
This is what they do, Tooch. They play with energy, and they bring it at that end. Buckets. Tyron
Johnson wasting no time. Picking up right where he left off last night, the corner Elam ending. And Barford drawing contact will go to the line.
There are so many good players in this region, certainly in this tournament. But Tyron Johnson is special. I mean, when he has an open look, it is cash money. And when he just always makes the right basketball play, and at 6'7", he's so good. There you see Terry Johnson from the underdogs. He's pretty solid as well.
I was going to say, they have a Johnson of their own.
They do.
Tyron huge, though, this tournament. First 2 rounds has averaged 22 points a contest and almost 13 rebounds. Couple of free throws for Barford.
Again, the pressure. And Marcus Posley will have to bring it up as well as Patrick Richard. They'll have to bring it up under pressure this whole game. This is what Jackson, Tennessee underdogs do to you.
Good angle for Richard to set up Packer and knocks it down.
A big that can stroke it from downtown. You gotta love it. A.J. Packer for 3.
His 3rd 3 of this region, 3 for 6 from the outside. Terrius Johnson with an answer.
Terrius says, you can stroke 3, so can I. I'm Lionel Ritchie all night long.
I like it. Underdogs with the early 1-point lead. And they love pressure. They love to force turnovers. Forced 19 of them in their big win in their second round.
And 26, I believe, versus the number 1 seed, Gale Forbes.
Blocking foul on Juwan Long. It came before Tolbert would have gotten the bucket.
But on that play, it's Marcus Posley who delivers the package at the doorstep. But before the pass was made, he was fouled. And now here we go. Tolbert, you have to stay away from deflections, Tooch.
Yeah, got it poked away. Juwan Long up into Packer, who was able to withstand the challenge. 3 on 2. Posley has to gather himself.
Great closeout.
And a little bit short, didn't quite get his footing.
Well, the sense of urgency was there defensively, though. We've seen people let Marcus Posley walk into a 3, which is a no-no defensively.
Antoine Long couldn't get the save, out of bounds and over to Louisiana United. And the depth of the Jackson underdogs coming into play, their first 2 substitutions.
But we talked about this all week, though. There's a fine line between having too many dudes and having a deep bench. These guys, because they play together so much and they're familiar with each other, growing up together, everyone knows their role. So when they come in, whether it's going to be for 2 minutes or for the whole game, everybody's ready to execute what they do. That's what makes these guys a tough out.
And a couple substitutions. Jeremy Weddle into the game along with Agra Bobo.
Agra Bobo at 6'6", kind of does the ball handling for them at times, and he'll shoot from 3.
Tolbert missed another one. This is Bobo. Composure. And a little bit of contorting on the baseline.
Make no mistake about it, too. They want to run. They want to pressure you. We saw them speed up gale force in that first round. You mentioned those 26 as well, turnovers, as well as the 19 they forced yesterday. Oh, a little clear out.
Johnson exerting his will. And we seesaw back and forth. Jackson still with the 1-point lead. Nice setup for Terrius Johnson.
A great job by Terrius to fake a pass and then whirl around and make a bank shot with the left hand. That was nice.
Packer got Pelham up in the air. Posley. And one and done for Terrius Johnson. The Jackson underdogs getting over the hump. Got out of the second round yesterday for the first time in their TBT history. Bobo making an impact off the bench for early. As the team composed by Darius DeBerry. Now with a 5-point lead, 15-10. Oh, Johnson wasting no time from where the big fish swim.
But that was great defense, though, by Terrius Johnson. But in his eye, Johnson over Johnson.
How bad does Tyron want to get back to the Super 16 in championship week?
Tyron Johnson definitely is on a mission. We've covered it this week. He's missing several players, and this is a defensive breakdown. A rarity. Jordan Tolbert capitalizes.
And Tolbert with the punch down.
And that happened. They were trying to pressure. They do some run and jump, but that was more of a zone they were trying, and nobody was guarding the basket or the back line. A little over-aggressive, and they had to pay the price.
Barford, yeah, left it for Tyron Johnson, who's been big on the glass, too.
You let Barford take those shots. He ain't going to take a lot of bad ones, but you have to live with that one.
Separation for Tolbert, able to shed Pelham. And a much better start for him after the goose egg yesterday.
And you know Tolbert was thinking about that all night, right? As a good player, when you have a bad game and your team survives, you have to be chomping at the bit to get back on the court. And you can see his energy level is at a 10 right now.
Underdogs want to end what's a 7-0 run in what's a little over a minute now. Terrius Johnson can't do it. The former Razorback Barford. And lost it out of bounds.
Man, I felt like he got pushed on that.
Well, rough day yesterday for Jordan Tolbert. Off to a great start this afternoon. Louisiana United thinking about Chicago early.
Cologuard, colon cancer screening for people 50 and older at average risk.
Honey, have you seen my glasses?
I've always had a knack for finding things. Colon cancer to be exact, and I find it non-invasively. No need for time off or special prep. It all starts here. You collect your sample, and Cologuard uses the DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers. You can always count on me to know where to look.
Oh, I found them. I can do this test now.
Ask your doctor if Cologuard is right for you. Covered by Medicare and most major insurers.
Good start for Jordan Tolbert and Louisiana United here in the Memphis region. One of what is 4 regional finals today. Carmen's crew already with a win in Columbus. Loyalty is love, being led by former Baylor star Isaiah Austin with a 5-point lead on the Fort Wayne champs. And Team CP3 with those former Carolina guys and PJ Hairston and Kennedy Meeks up early on Team Hines.
CP3 is like overseas elite. He hasn't lost yet. Kickball, right?
Here in Memphis.
There we go.
Bartley trying to feed it down low. Isaiah Austin, great story.
Yeah.
Diagnosed with Marfan syndrome shortly before he entered his name into the NBA draft. And it ended up derailing his NBA career.
He was a short NBA guy. He's a short shot, too.
Would have been a first-round pick.
Yeah, out of Baylor. So, yeah, that was unfortunate.
But has been able to keep his career going over in China. And now great to see him as part of TBT.
Really is.
Bobo off the bench, already with a couple buckets, gets his own rebound. And Durham off of the bench as well with a putback himself.
A little buffet of rebounds right there. All you can eat.
Alan Durham, who played at Grace Christian University and plays pro in Japan, ties this game up. Johnson offensive glass. Richard in rhythm.
Great basketball play, though. Did you see Tyron Johnson oversee and study the defense, and then he found Richard on the opposite wing and a shooting pass for an easy one. Wow, I'm surprised Bobo didn't let that fly. We've seen him shoot quite a few long ones this week.
I was going to say, first 2 rounds, they went up. Has not shot the ball well, particularly from the outside, Edgar Bobo. 2 of 9 from 3 coming into today. Johnson, contact and offensive foul. Raymond Tate making that call.
And is Sampson, the smallest guy in the gym, able to step in? Let's see, number 3, 5'4". Oh, he takes it. Jaron Johnson almost hurdled him. He almost cleared him. That was an amazing charge, though. Great job by Sampson.
That's 16 inches of differential.
Wow.
6'8" on 5'4".
You don't see that very often in a basketball game.
Long with the back door and the window.
Whoa, almost a travel there by Frank Bartley. We haven't really called his name, but he was sensational yesterday from downtown.
Posley blow by and score.
Marcus Posley, the St. Bonaventure great, teamed up with Jalen Adams, now plays for the Atlanta Hawks. Formed one of the most formidable backcourts in the nation his senior year.
And then a couple years later with Adams and Matt Mobley, they had another good one.
Crazy. How does Mark Schmidt do it? How do you recruit to Olean, New York? I don't know, but Mark Schmidt knows.
A lot of guys who are just the right fit.
And not only that, Mark Schmidt develops players. There's plenty of examples of guys that have gone through that program as a freshman, average 1, 2, 3 points. By the time they're senior, their first team or second team All-Atlantic 10.
Deion Wright.
Deion Wright was one of those guys. Sure.
Yep.
And
it's good you and I are on the same page after all these years.
Yeah, no doubt.
Leto, who played at Division II Lambeth, which is actually right here in Memphis, both free throws. And will still stay with Louisiana United.
You have to be careful with that quick NBA inbound, you know, where the guy barely steps out of bounds and throws it in, because these guys will jump in front of it. We've seen multiple steals over the course of this weekend with this team jumping in the passing lane, the Jackson Underdogs.
Yeah, they forced an average of 21 turnovers in the first 2 rounds. Johnson likes that corner spot, just not that time.
Oh, it was a great contest by Sane, though, to really kind of bother that shot.
Sampson into the corner. Sane right where he was yesterday.
And you know, Johnson did the same thing to him, really made it tough.
And he almost went down at the end of the quarter. Marcus Posley and Louisiana United, like everyone else this weekend, running into Josh Sane and the Jackson Underdogs.
The Shawn Mendes Verizon Up concert was surreal.
Why the Yusuf-Say sisters chose Verizon.
We were right in front row.
I'll never forget that day.
The network more people rely on gives you more, like a free Galaxy S10e when you buy one. That's Verizon.
TBT is taking over Chicago for Championship Week. 8 teams, single elimination, $2 million, winner take all. August 1st through the 6th at Wintrust Arena. Visit thetournament.com/tickets to secure your seats today.
Well, there's no feeling like $2 million. Not that either of us would know, but so we've been told. Here in Memphis,
did you ask DJ Kennedy?
The 8th seed Jackson Underdogs on top of Louisiana United. Yeah, DJ Kennedy could certainly fill us in.
Eric McCollum.
Kyle Fogg, although those two not playing for Overseas Elite this year. One of these two will head to Chicago in a couple weeks.
Already one team in Chicago.
And 4 championship week bids being handed out.
Frank Bartlett missed that last 3, but he was sensational yesterday. 7 of 12 from downtown. Oh, man, how about that pilfer?
Sampson taking it away from Patrick Richard. Weddle lets it fly. Offensive glass, and Durham, second chance.
Boom, Durham right there on the glass.
You better believe it. 4 off of the bench for Alan Durham.
They come at you in waves, Matt Martucci.
Bounce game for Posley. Shot clock cut in half, and Packer travels.
Man, I tell you what, they played solid defense the whole game, but there's a level where they can turn it up even more. Take a look at this rip right there, which leads to a transition opportunity off to the races. No shot, but there's Durham on the glass once, twice, 3 times.
Early second quarter, if you're just tuning in, both teams have had leads. Jackson by as many as 5. Louisiana United by 3.
Get out of that dead corner.
The underdogs right now on a 7-0 run. Johnson trying to stop that, gets the steal in the corner. Posley got away with one.
He did.
And Bartley unable to do what he did a bunch yesterday. That's 7 made threes, long,
nice.
right down the middle of the lane.
That is nice. Juwan Long.
Largest lead of the game for the Jackson underdogs. Posley, response.
You knew Pose was going to get it going at some point. There it is.
First 3 of the game for Marcus Posley, now has 5.
He's missed his first few shots.
Weddle this time trying the corner and a match.
And we've seen that a couple of times now where one team hits a 3, the other one comes right back and answers.
And Bartley dueling trifectas.
Frank Bartley finally gets one going. So if you're rooting for Louisiana United, seeing Bartley and Posley, who had struggled, combined 2 for 8 now, but they hit their last 2 each.
Look at that ball movement. And Barford off the 4th pass.
Barford with 35 yesterday. He's got 5 today, but he's off to a cold start.
Johnson kept it alive. Richard couldn't make it. And out of bounds. Over to the underdogs.
This would be quite a story if Jackson is able to get to Chicago. But take a look. If they're going to go, it's going to be on the back of that guy right there, Jalen Barford.
The balance so far of the underdogs. They have 6 different players with 4 points or more. Nice. Weddle's one of them. Team high 7. And a new largest lead. Bartley wanted the contact, didn't get it. Barford races. Sane, the setup.
Buckets. How about the offensive flow and the activity at both ends? Electric.
8-0 run in 54 seconds for the Jackson underdogs. We could just drop the underdog anymore. They're just Jackson here in Memphis.
Cologuard, colon cancer screening for people 50 and older at average risk.
Honey, have you seen my glasses?
I've always had a knack for finding things, colon cancer to be exact, and I find it non-invasively. No need for time off or special prep. It all starts here. You collect your sample, and Cologuard uses the DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers. You can always count on me to know where to look.
Oh, I found them. I can do this test now.
Ask your doctor if Cologuard is right for you. Covered by Medicare and most major insurers.
How bad did Josh Sane, Jalen Barford, and the Jackson underdogs want this? An 8-0 run in the last 54 seconds. They're 6 of their last 6, Tim Scarborough.
Sane is a nice piece off the bench, too, because at 6'5", 6'6", he guards Jalen Johnson. He's made it tough. but he's giving you money at the other end as well. Already 6 points off the bench in just 6 minutes.
By the way, I think we need to remind ourselves, he didn't play in round 1.
Yeah, that's right. And he was really good yesterday, too. So, I mean, again, if they get to Chicago, it's going to be quite a story. They're underdogs. They named themselves that, but they're the 8th seed, too. They truly were underdogs, but here we are with them kind of in the driver's seat and early going. A lot of basketball to be played. Man, it is trending in their direction. Look at this defensive swarm.
Mosley able to compose himself. Barkley couldn't finish. They get end-to-end so quickly.
And they get into you. They spend a lot of energy on defense, and then they share the ball on offense.
Barford, little circus act in the lane.
Telling you what, Barford's name should be J.G. Wentworth. 877 cash now.
Thankfully, neither of us need a loan. Bartley, catch of the corner. Johnson stayed with it and will go to the line, score the basket.
They really needed that. This Louisiana United team was reeling. Brad Boyd called that timeout, and it didn't really help until this bucket right here, thanks to their GM, captain, whatever you want to call him, go-to guy, Elam Ender. This guy does it all for them. The professional out of France, Tyron Johnson, has a chance for a traditional three-point play.
Only their third made field goal of this quarter. Louisiana United has opened up 3 of 10 here in the second period. How hot has Jackson been? 55% shooting overall, 77% in this quarter. Oh. Barford lost it. Stay here. Dexter Williams, their head coach from Liberty Magnet Tech high school program. And Jackson 70 miles east of Memphis. Barford continues to represent his hometown.
To me, successful TBT teams have coaches that can put it together for you, you know? Not everybody even really has a true coach, but the ones that do have guys that can work that bench, but more importantly, get everyone to play together. That's harder than you think to do because they're all pros. Some guys have to take a subordinate role that are quite frankly not used to ever playing a subordinate role. So to get them to buy in, that is really, really difficult. I've been saying all week and really all year that GM is the hardest job. That coaching job's got to be really difficult too in TBT.
You have to manage the egos, control the infighting on the bench. I'm not getting enough minutes.
I mean, there's not many Zen masters out here doing that. I think there was some of that with Bluff City. We could see them openly kind of having some issues yesterday, and here they are, not in the championship game in their hometown.
Long, and draws contact on Mosley. Yeah, interesting situation that you and I didn't notice last night is Antoine Long about to head to the line. On that Louisiana United made 3 from Johnson, Chris Crawford lost his tooth. His fake tooth, had to put it back in. Johnson capitalized, but Louisiana United down big here in round 3.
Wireless network claims are so confusing. America's most reliable network, the nation's largest and most reliable network. The best network is even better, best, fastest, best, enough. Sprint's doing things differently. They're offering a new 100% total satisfaction guarantee. I mean, I think Sprint's network and savings are great, but don't just take my word for it. Try it out and decide for yourself. Switch and get both an unlimited plan with Hulu and one of the newest phones included for just $35 a month.
Wild end last night here in Memphis. Watch the middle of your screen. Chris Crawford loses a fake tooth, picks it up, and his man knocks down the 3, Tim Scarborough.
And you know, he had to make a decision, and he made a business decision that tooth was worth more to him than getting out there and closing out on that game-winning shot. So you might call that tooth a $2 million tooth. They cost him some money right there.
My goodness, Tyron Johnson. So huge that these first 2 rounds. Last night, 21 on what was 8 of 14 shooting, hit 4 threes, had 23 the previous round. His team trying to get back to the 16 in championship week.
It's not easy though, boy. They got their work cut out for them. And, you know, if you're going to beat Jackson underdogs, at this point, we're just going to call them the dogs. Because they are dogs, man. They are getting after it right now. And they get after you and they make you work for everything you do. And really, Louisiana United has done a fairly decent job taking care of the ball, only 4 turnovers, but they make you take bad shots. They make you take hurried shots, hurried passes. They speed you up.
Mosley, everything but the finish.
Yeah, but that's the result of the pressure on defense, though. It's hard to finish those shots sometimes when you're getting bumped the whole time to the hoop.
Shot clock cut in half for Terrius Johnson and the Jackson underdogs. Nice move to get himself to the basket.
Second chance opportunity thanks to Antoine Long.
Bobo wide open.
Buckets.
And couldn't pass that one up. Andra Bobo, impact off the bench continues. 7 for him.
He's been really good this whole week, though. He took some bad ones on Friday. Not bad ones, but he just couldn't find the mark, the deep threes that he could make. And he's been on point ever since.
He and his teammates on an 11-3 run, grabs this board.
How about that pass?
Johnson got caught up. Barford with the lift and thrown out by Tyron Johnson. But a foul call on the rebound. It's going to go against the underdogs.
Bobo threw a 70-foot pass and was there to get the putback opportunity when the guy who caught that pass missed. That is an athletic play. Didn't work out for them, but man, this dude really gives them energy off the bench.
Bernard King into the game for Louisiana United.
He hasn't played the first 2 games, number 8 with the ball here.
Former Big 12 standout at Texas A&M.
You wonder if he can make an impact. That's hard to do sometimes.
Richard caught up in the air and got fouled.
It's nice to have that extra sub, maybe, especially in a game like this where you're being sped up and pressured. It takes a lot of energy out of you over the course of a game. Even if you're not turning it over, it still has a negative effect on you as a player and overall as a team. And that's why some teams who are good at it think of VCU in the regular season. They don't do it as much during this TBT. We probably won't see a lot of havoc next week in Richmond. But in general, teams that are doing that, they're doing that to just wear you down.
Patrick Richard ends what was an almost 2.5-minute scoring drought for the Louisiana United team. Still, though, without a field goal in the last 2.5 minutes. Former McNeese State player and Conference Player of the Year in the Southland. Johnson couldn't convert the layup. Run out, and the other Johnson bucket and the line.
So
here they come.
Don't foul him. We ain't gonna miss that shot. Just let him have it. Terrius Johnson compounded the missed layup at one end. He hustled back, but man, that is a touch, ticky-tack foul that didn't have to happen.
Getting close to the Elam ending in Lexington. Loyalty is love with what's a big lead on the Fort Wayne champs. Darius Johnson-Odom, who played his college basketball at Marquette, 18 points there. Isaiah Austin, who we talked about previously, 17. And one of the great stories of this TBT 2019, the Jackson underdogs are another one of them. Brad Boyd and Louisiana United down by double digits here in Memphis.
Okay, Thor, hit me.
Is anyone home? We met a few years ago. Ant-Man, I know you know that.
Is that everyone?
What, you wanted more?
Avengers! Assemble.
Avengers Endgame. Buy it now and watch instantly.
Carmen's crew has already secured a bid in Columbus. One of these two teams trying to do it in Memphis. Action in Lexington and Greensboro as well. But it's the 8th seed who was considered a dark horse potentially to come out of this region by some TBT, the basketball tournament staffers. Jackson Underdogs certainly proved their worth, Tim Scarborough.
They really have so far, and again, if you beat them, you're going to have to play a very good basketball game. You're going to have to take care of the ball, but you have to find a way to handle their pressure and get higher percentage shots. Not easy to do, as we've seen here this afternoon.
Up by as many as 16 points. Lead is 14 now.
Going to a dribble handoff series. I like the changeup.
Nice find from King. Tolbert had to gather himself, but too much gathering and steps.
He covered a lot of ground to not have put that on the floor. That had to be a travel.
Barford, the hang.
J.G. Whitworth, I'm telling you.
All the tools in his game.
Man.
13 here in the first half for Barford. And a foul on Simmons. Jeremy Simmons seeing some of his first action of the afternoon. Played at Iowa Wesleyan and is a Jackson native from Central Mary High School. Meanwhile, King going to the free throw line. This guy could fill it up during his day, and still doing it. He'll turn 38 in all of 3 days. Averaged 15 points a game over in France this past year. Bernard King.
With a name like Bernard King, how could you not fill it up? So that's what the Bernard Kings of this world were born to do. Of course, the great NBA legend of the same name played for the Knicks and the Nets. Played his ball right here in the state of Tennessee, college ball.
Yeah, other Bernard King, legendary Bernard King, is 62 years of age now. Barford is still a youngster, and certainly playing like it.
Cash money.
It's a 7-0 Jalen Barford run.
That may be the deepest three of the tournament so far. That's not a desperation three. This is out the Air Force Reserve, one of our sponsors. Let it fly.
That was just ho-hum.
Man, he did it so easily. Yeah.
Nonchalant. Another day, I'm just picking up my briefcase.
Yeah, he said, oh, you don't want to guard me? I did cross half court. You better recognize.
King back to the line. That's where all his points have come from. Frankly, they've needed it. And not disrespect to Louisiana United, it's just Jackson's really good. Barford continues to show why.
They have a nice formula though. They hustle, pressure, they can play deep, and then they have the ultimate go-to guy in Barford.
Bartley, good find. Posley, King, they need that.
Whoa. King nearly got into it with one of the guys on the bench.
That was Josh Sane.
Wow. And Sane thought about coming out on the floor and confronting him, and he realized
it's a no-no.
Yeah.
Barford winded down the second quarter. Already with 16 points this quarter alone. They can't convert. Elam.
Wow.
But still, the Jackson Underdogs walking into the break with their largest lead of the basketball game. And guess who's right at the forefront? The former All-SEC selection. Not Jackson, Mississippi, Jackson, Tennessee. And Jalen Barford, the ringleader. Stats and highlights coming here in Memphis.
Discover card? Hi, do you have a travel card? We do. The Discover It Miles card. Earn unlimited 1.5 miles on every purchase. Plus, we'll match your miles at the end of your first year.
You'll match my miles?
Yeah, mile for mile. And no blackout dates or annual fee.
Nice. I was thinking about taking a scuba diving trip.
I love that.
Or maybe go surfing. Or not.
Okay, maybe somewhere else.
Maybe a petting zoo.
Can't go wrong.
Can't get eaten.
Earn miles. We'll match them at the end of your first year. Plus, no annual fee or blackouts. The Discover It Miles card.
What are you listening to? Alexa, skip track. Wait. Alexa, play that song that goes, I hate you so much right now. I'm gonna miss you so much. Yeah, you are. Alexa, call Kelly. You missing me already? Maybe. I knew it. I knew it.
Well, if the first 2 days weren't already an indication of just how for real this Jackson Underdogs squad is, look at the dejection from Louisiana United.
Yep. Oh, they're real.
Although,
and they're
some
spectacular.
smiles, some smiles, but down 17. Here to the 8th seed, trying to move on to Chicago. And what a first half. And early on, looked like we'd be going back and forth.
It did. But Jackson was not to be denied, man. 56 first half points. They were terrific at that offensive end. But early on, as Louisiana United, Packer got it going because they didn't respect his ability to do that right there. A splash down from 3. Then Marcus Posley missed his first few shots. He finally got into the act. They'll need more of that. And Frank Bartley, another guy who carried the load for them yesterday, really absent other than that 3 right there. On the other end, it was Bobo and Sane off the bench that gave Jackson a lift from downtown. You see right there. And it continued as Barford kind of took over. We called him J.G. Wentworth, 877 Cash now. Cashes that one in. Lets it fly from deep. Cashes that one in. And he was just a one-man scoring machine there in the late part of the first half.
And certainly giving the fans that have come from Jackson plenty to smile about. 56 points and 18 of them coming from Barford. We'll have halftime stats next.
We just got married.
We're all under one roof now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How many kids?
My 2, his 3.
Along with 2 dogs and Jake, our new parrot.
That is quite the family.
Quite a lot of colleges to pay for, though.
A lot of colleges.
Okay, you get any financial advice?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's the same plan they sold me before.
Well, your situation's totally changed now.
Right.
How about a plan that works for 5 kids, 2 dogs and Jake over here?
That'd be great.
That would be great.
That okay with you, Jake?
Get a portfolio that works for you now and as your needs change from TD Ameritrade Investment Management.
The Jackson Underdogs thinking about Chicago and halfway there. Here in round 3, our Memphis regional final of the basketball tournament here in 2019. Tim Scarborough and I had just talked to Tyron Johnson from Louisiana United. He said, these are some bad boys.
Yeah.
And look at those numbers, Scar.
And he mentioned how well they're shooting from the field, 53%, 7 of 13 from downtown. We talk about what they do on defense, but it allows them to get so many easy buckets in transition, both running to the three-point line as well as taking it to the basket.
One region already decided in Columbus. We've had a final as well in another one. Lexington has wrapped up. Loyalty is love. Behind 50% shooting as a team today, and 23 points from Isaiah Austin. 21 from former St. Louis big man Willie Reed, also on that squad. So they move on in convincing fashion over the Fort Wayne champs and former NBA second-round pick Travis Leslie.
Yeah, and Fort Wayne, I believe, got to the 16 last year, so they will not advance today. But wow, It's so much fun to see this bracket start to shape up. Two teams punching their tickets through to Chicago. And we got a good one here in Memphis. And right now it's looking like this Jackson team is well on its way. But don't count this Louisiana United team out just yet. See what Brad Boyd, their head coach, can do to get his guys going.
Brad Boyd, former University of Louisiana Raging Cajun himself. Over 1,000 career points, and now a high school coach at Southside High.
Southside! Yeah, he's a good dude, Brad Boyd. Trying to get his group to get another trip in a couple of weeks. But it is not easy. They have their work cut out for them. These underdogs, or what we just now are calling the dogs, are here and they are barking.
Youngsville, Louisiana, where he coaches high school, actually part of the Lafayette metro area, where the University of Louisiana is. But yeah, underdogs no more. Like you said, just dogs. That's
just
it.
Dogs. They get after them.
Hungry dogs.
Yep.
You and I might have heard that in Philadelphia a few years ago. Hungry dogs run faster.
That's right. And that pushed that particular team to a Super Bowl win, right?
It did.
Let's see if these guys have it in them for a push to 2 million.
This is the halfway point if they get there.
Wow, yeah, that's a great way to think of it. Getting yourself to Chicago is the first step. Chicago is a whole nother story. It's going to be 8 really good teams who have earned their way to the Windy City.
Brad Boyd making an adjustment. They open up 2-3 zone.
I like it.
And it's Posley and Patrick Richard at the top. And Barford says, what zone?
Who are you going to call? Zone Busters.
21 for Jalen Barford, his third 3 of the basketball game.
And it has been a symphony of string music from behind the arc.
Johnson got knocked out of bounds and still knocked it down. But it came down a little awkwardly. Chance at a 4-point play for Tyron Johnson.
Tyron Johnson appeared to hurt himself a little bit, but not before this splash from 3 and the foul, a chance for a 4-point play. Remember yesterday, the Southern Gents, TJ Dunnins had a 4-point play and then a 5-point play because he was flagrantly fouled on a 3-point attempt that he made and made 2 free throws.
With a back foul on Tolbert, which is only his first.
So Johnson could not complete his 4-point play opportunity. Again, the GM has put this Louisiana United team together. And you have to wonder, if they do advance, if Louisiana United is not looking good right now, would they get some of the guys that they were talking about, like Brandon Bass, Glenn Big Baby Davis, who's in the Big 3 right now, Sean Long. No, I guess they won't get Sean Long because he's on Team Hines. And I guess you can still add players, right? You have to pay. So maybe Bo McCaleb might be a guy that they might pay to add. But they're a long way from thinking about that. They need to survive this.
Posley with the exaggerated step, ain't able to get the bucket.
I like to call that an extra step. I think he traveled.
At this point, you're down this big, whatever you can get away with.
Absolutely. If they didn't call it, James Harden says if they didn't call it, it's not travel.
Antoine Long, Jalen Barford, Jawan Long, Torrey Pelham.
Man, he better get out on this.
And Terrius Johnson. Jawan Long off the sit-up from Barford.
Cash. Barford, man, he is a handful. Great delivery that time, and Long able to stroke it.
It's Marcus Posley, Jordan Tolbert, Tyron Johnson, A.J. Packer, and Patrick Richard. Louisiana, SMU, St. Bonaventure, McNeese State, and Wright State, and that's Louisiana right there. Tyron Johnson.
Tells you how good some of these mid-major programs are, doesn't it?
19 now for Johnson, former Sun Belt Player of the Year.
How good.
And that's Louisiana, SMU, and Patrick Richard. It's Marcus Marcus Posley, Jordan Tolbert, Tyron Johnson, A.J. Packer, and Patrick Richard. Louisiana, SMU, St. Bonaventure, McNeese State, and Wright State, and that's Louisiana right there. Tyron Johnson.
Tells you how good some of these mid-major programs are, doesn't it?
19 now for Johnson, former Sun Belt Player of the Year. Spent the last 2 years in France, put up good numbers. Barford, acceleration, and just too much. How do you stop Jalen Barford?
You don't. 23 now.
He's 9 of his last 11 from the field. And it actually started this game 0 for 4.
Mismatch here.
Tolbert.
Great double, though.
In the double, got it over the front of the rim and will go to the line.
Tolbert's had a solid game today, 4 for 6 from the field. Has a chance for a traditional three-point play. Great recognition of the switch that created this mismatch. The double came brother on brother, the Long brothers trying to help each other. Antoine got caught low. Juwan tried to help. He ended up getting a personal foul.
Tolbert, who had the big start, hadn't really scored since those first few minutes. Now has 9.
You see Jalen Barford, number 0. I've been doing games for many years, but the last 5 years, I don't think I've done a game without a Jalen in it. And we have a Juwan. That's got to be a byproduct of the Fab Five, right?
Yeah, where are Jimmy and Ray and Chris?
we have some Chris's and Jimmy's and Ray's.
Foul on the pass by Posley. Let's play a game here at the 6-minute mark as they try and clear up some confusion.
Yeah, they may have to look at this to see if it was a flagrant foul.
And that's exactly what they're going to do.
Or a technical, it looked like he gestured there.
Maybe afterwards, yep. I was going to say, let's play a game. This needs to be in single digits by, if you're Louisiana United.
Elam. Certainly, you got time. But if you can get it single digits by the end of this quarter, even better.
That's more
earlier. Yeah.
That was kind of where I was hoping you'd go.
Yeah. But, you know, you got time. You don't want the Bulls out the 20, I'll tell you that much. They're talking it over now.
So it's a personal foul on Long, but it's a technical foul on Tolbert.
Who is on Louisiana United.
On Louisiana United.
And you can understand Tolbert taking issue with his GM and his leader getting blasted like this. But the honesty is that's a clean basketball play. Antoine Long is going for the ball right there. He just happened to crash into Johnson. So I don't think that we're going to get an explanation here now, though.
Okay. So they announced the technical foul, but Chris Paisley comes over to clarify.
Yeah.
Actually, no technical foul. So just a common foul.
And no flagrant, right? Common foul.
Just a common foul.
Ball underneath. I think that's the right call, too. And a good job to not give Jordan Tolbert that foul, that technical as well.
They definitely have some correcting, I think, to do with the box score. Here's Tolbert off the inbounds.
Even the best defensive teams have trouble guarding the myriad of possibilities you can run underneath the goal to get an easy bucket.
And quick answer
from Juwan.
Juwan Long. He and Barford have combined for more than half their points. 12 for Juwan Long now. Tolbert gathering and a chance for 3 the old-fashioned way.
Tolbert, the last couple of possessions, flexing right now in the paint. But you know, Juwan, speaking of Juwan's, take a look at this pass here first. The catch and finish. Juwan Howard, now the head coach, University of Michigan. You need a playing card to figure out where everybody is nowadays with the coaching changes. Jim Beeline decided to go to John Beeline, as they trying to go to the NBA, trying his hand. Of course, my old coach, Jeff Meyer, was on that staff for many years at Michigan under John Beeline. So I shouldn't be getting his name wrong, right?
John. But yeah, John Beeline.
If it's hardball, I can understand.
Right.
The football coach at Michigan.
Successful tenure, 2 different stops. Richard brings this to 10. And a 10-3 Louisiana United run.
Big shot. We had dinner with the Richard, or next to the table next to Richard's family last night. His dad was telling us his son's accolades, very proud of him. But the thing that he likes about him is his fight that he has in him. And you can see that competitive spirit come out on that last shot.
And only his second field goal of the game, but picked a good time for it. Tolbert getting the
Nice
rebound
steal.
off the miss.
Sane.
And Sane
Buckets.
turns it right back.
Energy guys off the bench. Sane and Bobo.
8 points for the former MVP of the Tennessee State Tournament from Jackson. Back to his high school days. Career started at Middle Tennessee, then community college, and finished up Tennessee State.
Short.
Johnson one and done.
Durham with another rebound.
Barford and blocked.
And that's about all you can do with Barford right now. Send him to the line. And take a look at him. In transition, this is a 1-on-3 basically, and a pretty solid defensive play. And really, I don't see the foul.
Update from Greensboro, Team CP3 on top of Team Hines. 50-46 late in the third quarter of that one. 2 of our regional finals already done. Greensboro and here in Memphis, what we have left. And then 4 more regions starting Friday.
I know that CP3 Hines matchup must just be a slugfest. A lot of good basketball being played this weekend in TBT.
Barford brings this back to 14. It's been as many as 20.
Kyle Hines, the man who put that team together, only has 2 points right now.
Well, how about that?
Nice
Tolbert
slip.
off the slip, exactly. And back to within 12. Bounce game for Weddle, couldn't get it to stick.
And if I'm Brad Boyd, I'm staying in the 2-3 zone.
It's taken a little bit, but it's been effective.
Yep.
Posley, and big shot. They're within single digits.
Striking distance is what you want to remain in. And if you could get even closer, do it. Cash money from Posley from downtown.
Second 3 of the game for the former All-Atlantic 10 selection from St. Bonaventure. Sane with the dump down. Good ball movement for the underdogs. Barford, get out, says Johnson.
Johnson has timed Barford a couple of times now. He got tagged with a personal on 1. That time, clean as a whistle.
And they're within 9, Louisiana United on the way back.
Wireless network claims are so confusing. America's most reliable network, the nation's largest and most reliable network. The best network is even better, best, fastest, best, enough. Sprint's doing things differently. They're offering a new 100% total satisfaction guarantee. I mean, I think Sprint's network and savings are great, but don't just take my word for it. Try it out and decide for yourself. Switch and get both an unlimited plan with Hulu and one of the newest phones included for just $35 a month.
TBT is brought to you by Puma Basketball. And we go into the huddle, presented by Puma. Louisiana United.
JT here, Patrick here, Mosley here. We're going to come out, good up screen. Take him away, JT, good up screen, come over.
They're going to help. It's going to be an overshot.
Pop open P, you might be able to shoot. If not, then Tyron right here on the on ball from the other side. Frank over here. Over here on ball, look to roll. No, Tyron to pop out. Tyron to pop out.
Brad Boyd and the Puma in the huddle. Drawing up a set, and they only practiced once. They had a Thursday practice. There were some teams in this region that practiced for 2 weeks. Sane. And they get the offensive glass and an almost full shot clock. Sane, second chance, but there was movement. Bobo.
They're going to call a moving screen. Illegal. So wipe that three, and that was a big shot right there. It would have been a momentum changer. Comes the full court pressure. Man to man. They just make you think about working to bring it up, even when it's kind of token pressure.
Mosley had brought them to within 9. And continues.
He's a magician on that baseline.
12 now for Marcus Mosley. They're on a 7-0 run in the last minute and 21 seconds.
So now they're playing more of a point matchup zone. Great job to mix up their defenses here. That's hard to do.
Bobo likely traveled first. Mosley and Bartley on the run out, uncontested. 2-possession game. Here comes Louisiana United. And a timeout for the Jackson Underdogs.
Brad Boyd is loving it. Great job getting this team back in it, shuffling the defense, getting the energy level up, and getting the ball to the guys who deliver like Mosley and Johnson.
They've opened up this quarter 11 of their first 12.
This is special right here, working that baseline, walking that tightrope, up, under, scoop, score. And then getting out in transition, an easy one there. That's the easiest one that they've had all day by Frank Bartley Jr. Not the fourth.
Shaping up to be an impressive last 2 regional finals. Greensboro headed to the 4th period. Team CP3, Team Hines tied at 51 apiece. 16 for Nate Mason for Team CP3, who played at Minnesota.
Nick Calathis with just 7. They're big dogs. Kyle Hines with just 2. Calathis with 7.
Isaiah Miles in his first year playing, I believe, in the tournament.
Yeah.
St. Joe's product from Baltimore, Maryland. 12 points to lead Team Hines.
Of course, he played with DeAndre Bembry for Phil Martelli. Of course, you're familiar with all those guys.
I might have seen them once or twice.
You might have said their names a few times.
2016 NCAA tournament run, lost in the second round to Oregon.
I always loved going home to Philadelphia and calling games at LaSalle and St. Joe's. And that is so much fun calling those Atlantic 10 games, especially, you know, I grew up in Philadelphia, but I also grew up literally about 5 to 6 blocks from where LaSalle is.
Sane is from this area, and the theft and score.
That was a big play right there. A stop and a run out. Sane again with the energy off the bench.
Double figures yesterday for Josh Sane, doing it again today. 13 in round 2, 10 today. Nice. Richard, and getting into double figures himself, brings it back to within 5.
Nice move.
Long with the step through to the basket.
Great hesitation by Long, and then the blow by.
The former Murray State racer doing just that. That was the same side of the basket where he had the game winner in the Ohio Valley title game. It was on that left-hand side on a layup. Bartley in and out on a 3-point attempt. Barford, nice vision, Weddle.
Okay.
And here they come, pushing it back up.
Jackson, back at you. It's amazing what timeouts can do to momentum.
They've hit their last 3, 5-0 now to push this back to 10. Johnson quells that.
To me, that 6-foot baseline jump shot is a tough shot. One of the tougher ones in basketball. Great job of knocking that one down by Johnson.
65 points now in almost 3 days for Tyron Johnson. And into the corner, Mosley, that won't count, even if it got there. Louisiana United needed to get this down to single digits. Able to do so, but the Underdogs maintaining thanks to Weddle from the outside. They're up 8. Our winning share by Zell for the Jackson Underdogs. An equal split, $120,000 if they happen to get to Chicago and cut down the TBT nets. Split that $2 million across the board. Matt Martucci, Tim Scarborough, one of 2 regional finals left here in our opening weekend. Here in round 3.
The beginning of the fourth quarter for the team that's trailing is the most key segment with these Elam endings being in play.
Posley trying to shake Sane and got it to Bartley.
Great contest though by Barford. Made that one tough.
Barford, tightrope, set up Johnson. Big shot from the corner.
Terrius for 3. Here comes the pressure again.
Only his 3rd field goal of the game. 8 for Terrius Johnson, who played at Eastern Kentucky. Tolbert might have gotten away with a walk.
He crashed right into Richard, too.
Johnson. And back the other way. They have Tolbert if they see him.
They did not. Tolbert had some friendly fire with Richard, but it still hurts.
Johnson took the body from Durham, and that was just enough. Richard
nice
with a good save. And Johnson.
That's winning basketball right there. That's a basketball winning play. Saves it for your team, sacrifice your body, and gets 3 points on the board.
Contact and an offensive foul at this end. It goes on Jawan Long.
It's a great little stretch right there. Take a look at this for save for Richard, and Johnson does the rest with a splash. Then at the other end, Richard getting in front of a driving Long, taking the charge. Nice exchange. Again, winning basketball.
Louisiana United, remember, was down as many as 20. Has brought this all the way back. They've gotten as close as 5. Richard telegraphed it. Numbers. Barford with a 3-on-2. Sane and hits.
Tolbert goes that low. Is that Posley?
That's Posley.
Man. Let's see if he's okay. Slipped on a wet spot, looks like.
It looks to be all right. Josh Sane, 13 both days that he's played. Sat in the first round. Boy, are they glad that they were able to put him in.
His name is Sane. He's making the crowd go crazy.
3 for 4 from 3 today now for Josh Sane. They've hit 13 of them.
After that shot, that was as loud as it has been in this building.
Meanwhile at Greensboro, Team CP3 up by 4, 60-56 on Team Hines.
A couple minutes from Elam ending time.
Team Hines led by 2 of their 3 leading scorers, former Atlantic 10 players. Isaiah Miles has just hit a 3 to bring them to within 1. 6-0 Team Hines run.
Some bucket getters in that game.
Yes, there are. Almost 2 minutes into the fourth quarter here. Can Louisiana United mount a comeback? Richard used the screen, couldn't get it to stick.
Needed it, didn't get it. Nice pass.
And the leak out, Durham with the punch down. Right on top of Richard.
Everybody stayed with 3-point shooters, but they forgot to cover the basket, and Durham sneaks behind them for a nice dunk.
And Posley with a big bucket. Barford got bumped on the way in.
On the ground, though.
It's still a 10-point lead for the Jackson Underdogs. How's Louisiana United gotten back into this? 86% shooting in this half.
Woo! Scintillating.
15 of 21, 6 of 10 from 3 here in the second half. A weekend full of upsets here in Memphis. Jackson by seed trying to pull another one. Though at this point it wouldn't really be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they won a couple games in Chicago at this point. Sane hesitated. Durham with a great save. Second chance. Sane and capitalizes.
Oh, man. How big was that tooch? Brad Boyd, timeout. Louisiana United.
Jalen Barford with a point to Josh Sane as if to say, you're a bad dude.
Now they wave off the timeout. I think they just want to wipe up some sweat. But Josh Sane is a bad dude. He is balling right now because you know what he's doing defensively. And then offensively, he's giving them big, timely shots.
10 of his 16 points have come in this second half.
Nice lift off the bench. We know it's Marcus Posley time.
Richard, contact first, offensive foul on Posley.
Tarius Jackson willing to give up his body. But so many of these Jackson, Tennessee underdogs are willing to step in and seal off drives and absorb contact, giving up your body. They have the ball in the right guy's hands, though, right here with Jalen Barford.
Johnson. They just keep on coming. 6-0 run here in the last 33 seconds.
Just when you thought it was safe to get back in the water, now there's blood in it, and these guys are sharks.
Yeah, boy, are they ever. Underdogs commit one. Barford's third personal, though at this point doesn't really matter. We foul out with 6, and we're inside of 2 minutes from our Elam ending. Posley, nice look down low for Bartley, the fourth. Foul line trip coming. Bananas in Greensboro, by the way, 62 apiece.
Wow.
And inside of a minute to the Elam ending. There was a personal, it looks like, on Dante Clark as Bartley makes the free throw. And then a technical foul on CP3's coach. So Mike James ended up hitting both of the free throws, then the technical free throws.
Isn't CP3 the coach?
Yes, so it would be Chris Paul.
The coach.
I forgot about that.
And the name of the team.
Yep. So Chris Paul got hit with a technical, and Team Hines hit all 4 of their free throws. They're up again.
Wow. How big is that?
The last 2 regional bids decided here, at least today, in this first weekend. 4 more coming next weekend. Barford. And tried to decide this one almost single-handedly. 27 now for Barford.
And all of a sudden, the lead is bulged out to 16. At the worst time, if you're Louisiana United. They haven't been able to get stops since this fourth quarter started 4 minutes ago. Barford and Sane in particular have been difficult to stop. Tarius Johnson as well has gotten a bucket during that stretch.
Yeah, 16 fourth quarter points for the Jackson underdogs. They're 4 of 5 from 3, 6 of 8 from the field here in the fourth quarter.
Man.
Closers indeed, or at least trying to be.
They are certainly trying to drive that nail and get themselves a trip up north. 8th seed in a region with only 8 teams. And if this holds, the team that was thought of theoretically as the lowest would be on top.
How about that? We had said it could potentially happen. Jalen Barford has certainly exerted his will, put his stamp on this game.
And he's done it all sorts of ways, Tooch. Terrific outside shooter, an open court player, deep range from downtown, and if you're just going to let him do it, that's a cash money practice shot. But going off the dribble, he has been dynamite, and really no answers. 10 for 18 from the field. He's got 27 points, and he has made it look easy in his second year competing in TBT.
Former All-SEC first teamer.
Yep. University of Arkansas.
Actually the third leading scorer on that Greensboro Swarm team in the G League.
And that team, Arkansas team, would love to have him. They had 13 guys, but you always have room for a guy like Barford.
His team just over a minute and a dead ball to the Elam ending. They're into it in Greensboro. Team Hines called the timeout, up 65-64 in that one. Foul at this end. Darius Johnson. He actually has to be careful. That's his 5th personal.
Oh.
Richard drew in the double. Posley, big shot.
That's a start. So if you're Jackson, you don't want to rush now.
Now you want to take all of the shot clock on this possession.
Try to shorten this timed portion of the game down to almost nothing. And get yourself to the Elam ending with a nice cushion.
Barford with the shot clock cut in half has been almost as good of a distributor as he has been a scorer. 12 assists to go with his 27 points. Here's another one, potentially Whittle. But a fresh 30, and now they could just call a timeout.
Once it gets under the 4-minute mark. That's exactly what they're going to do.
And they do just that. Dexter Williams. Jalen Barford putting his team in position with a double-double today. Target score going up on the board. Another century mark plus here in Memphis. The Elam ending. Coming up. Durham rising up. Can Jackson go over the top to Chicago? We'll find out.
Okay, Thor, hit me.
Is anyone home? We met a few years ago. Ant-Man, I know you know that.
Is that everyone?
What, you wanted more?
Avengers!
Assemble.
Avengers Endgame. Buy it now and watch instantly.
A flashback less than 24 hours ago. Michael Ward called glass for Jackson's blowout win over the Southern Gentlemen. And their Elam ending sent them here. Target score up on the board. First one to 102. Gets to Chicago as the Memphis regional champion. And a percentage share of the tickets as well. The ticket sales. So there's a purse.
22 points away.
Bartley the fourth.
20.
Yeah. Jump in the passing lane. 9 for him. Barford has been a monster the last 2 days of this tournament. Off to the races again. Bartley the fourth looking for a trailer. And a little out of control. Tolbert couldn't come up with the save and out of bounds.
Different day for Bartley the fourth, who went on a mini shooting spree yesterday. Today a little different, just 3 of 11, 1 of 7 from downtown. Yesterday he was 7 of 12 for 3, 27 points. .102 here. Greensboro, the target score 73.
Team Hines 2 points away there, 71-66. They lead Team CP3. Sane catch. Has made a couple of those today. Johnson with the offensive glass. A quiet 13 for Terrius Johnson.
Yeah, you gotta like the Eastern Kentucky product, Terrius Johnson. Turnover.
Barford, plenty of numbers. Just had to gather himself. Johnson selling contact, blocking foul.
And it has to be a little daunting when you see 102 for the target score and you're sitting at 83 points. I mean, psychologically, of course, Elam ending is a relatively new thing, unique to TBT in particular. It sounds like people around the country are starting to pick up on it and love it because they're understanding it, and it does make every game, of course, ends on the ball going through the hoop, and it makes every game compelling at the end.
Yeah, you look on social media and all kinds of folks responding to it.
All kinds of folks with blue checks next to their name.
That's true. Tolbert, pick and pop.
Push, Richard.
And Richard.
I think it was a good ball. 2 hands in the back, it's automatic. Richard disagrees.
Saying he got it done to him at the opposite end.
Yep. Everyone always cries equity, or the inequity in this case.
Correct. Sane, good block, but the offensive rebound, and Durham has been big late in this game.
He sure has.
And a timeout for Brad Boyd. They're 2 away. 6 straight for the underdogs.
And Brad Boyd wants to have a conversation with the officials.
And Chris Paisley not having much of it. Just said, do you want a 30 or a full? Regular or supersize?
Paper or plastic?
Correct. What a weekend for these guys, though. Louisiana United, almost as impressive. With their roster, only 6, now 7 guys. It was 6 for the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
But Dexter Williams managing minutes for these Jackson underdogs, where we've seen it, it can be a blessing, it can be a curse, depth in this tournament.
It really can. And it just depends on how you're comprised. It's not about the number itself. There's no magic number. But to me, an optimal number is 10 reliable. But you have to try to fill your roster with 12, 13, because not everybody can get here, especially those first weekends.
Looks like we have a final in Greensboro. Mike James knocking down the game-winning jumper for Team Hines. Sends Team CP3 out.
So Coach Chris Paul is now 2-1, but hopefully it sounded like he had a great experience.
Posley's miss, chased down. Bartley nearly airballed that, and it messed up Tolbert's rebounding attempt. Barford, and will go to the line. Needs both to get them the win.
.2 points away with 2 free ones and a nice cushion. So it's looking like Jackson, Tennessee, will be advancing.
And 1 free throw away. Loyalty is Love was the 1 seed in Lexington. Carmen's Crew the 1 in Columbus. Team Hines in Greensboro. And here in Memphis, an 8 seed rising out of the pack, led by that man, Jalen Barford.
If you want to call the 5 on the court the Jackson 5, that guy is Michael. He was a star among stars. Jalen Barford, congratulations to him and the rest of his crew. You just earned a trip to the Windy City.
29 today and a double-double for Jalen Barford, 12 assists. And the last 8 points of this game end up going to the Jackson Underdogs. Underdogs no more.
No. The Dogs. Woo, woo, woo.
What a last couple days for Jalen Barford. 35, 7 rebounds, 5 assists yesterday. 29, 4 boards, 12 assists today.
How about that? And an Elam ender on his resume.
Hopefully we'll talk to him when we return. Jalen Barford and the Jackson Underdogs headed to Chicago, the Memphis regional champ here at TBT.
If you were to attend a party with all of history's most influential people, the creators, the innovators, the pioneers, you'd notice a common theme. But if you were to choose one mother or father to throw such a party, it would have to be the father of tequila. Cuervo Tradicional since 1795, the father of tequila.
Well, those smiles say it all. The Jackson Underdogs emerging here out of the Memphis Regional to take it home in round 3 and head to championship week at Chicago, 102-83 over Louisiana United. Courtside here at Rowan Fieldhouse, Matt Martucci, Tim Scarborough, and the man of the weekend, honestly, not the man of the hour, the man of the weekend, Jalen Barford, the guard, and I would think probably the most outstanding player of this region, Tim Scarborough.
No doubt about it. I mean, you talk about 35 yesterday, 29 today, and the Elam ender under his belt now, and a trip to Chicago. How do you feel about all of those things?
Just have our city on our name in the front of our jersey. It just feels good because we've always been slept on. Of course, we came here as an A seed. So it just feels good to come out here and play in front of our fans, especially in Memphis.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. 70 miles east of Memphis, Jackson, Tennessee. Now, some of you guys played high school basketball together. Some were high school rivals from what we understand.
Yeah, Southside Liberty, big rival in Jackson. So we try to bring our rivalry down a little bit and come play with each other. And we gel well together. You know, we play hard. Everybody has the same mentality about winning, so it works out well.
And you're an SEC player, played for Arkansas. Team Arkansas was the 3rd seed in this region. But you're not playing with them. You're playing with the underdogs. And I'm not calling you underdogs anymore, primarily because of what you're doing on the floor. You're now just the dogs.
Yes, sir. You know, Arkansas wanted me to play with them, but I had to come with the whole team. This is my second year with you guys, so. You know, I love Arkansas like a second home to me. It's great guys, great coaching staff up there, so I just had to come with the home team this time.
I know it doesn't matter to you, Jalen, who you end up playing, but you get the winner of the Wichita Regional. You know, what do you think, number one, about that? It feels like it's Jackson versus everybody at this point.
Yeah, I think so. I really don't even know who in the Wichita region, so, I mean, it's going to be fun to see who we playing. You know, of course it's going to be somebody good, and we got to go out there and compete in Chicago, so we're just ready.
And I noticed little one at home on Twitter.
Oh, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. I had a daughter. She's 3 years old, going on 30, so she's probably somewhere watching, screaming my name. So.
Yeah, I certainly hope she is, and that's a great thing. Take a look at the Memphis bracket and, you know, how this all ended up shaking out. A tough test from Gale Force early on, and then a couple of blowout victories. What did you think about this team that you saw today in Louisiana United? Only 6 guys, but this was a good squad.
No, that was a great team. I watched them the whole weekend. I've seen them actually beat Arkansas, so I think they got some great shooters. Had some great energy guys, and, you know, they did good. Their guards were good, but they just got a little tired. I think they had 6 players, so I think one player got hurt, so we just came in our favor.
You guys are the underdogs. You love that moniker. You named your team that. You have that fight in you. What are your chances now that you're in Chicago? the stakes are higher. There's going to be a little bit better teams. What are your chances? How do you feel about counting $2 million?
I feel great. You know, I was telling somebody the other day, I think my team, we just go out hard work and just fight. Don't worry about who we playing. You mean they got to put their shorts on just like we do, tie their shoes just like we do. So, yeah, I go out there and fight. That's what the underdog is, you know, from Jackson, Tennessee. So I'm pretty sure everybody knows where we're from now.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. Go enjoy it. Appreciate you stopping by. And hey,
sir.
We'll see you in Chicago. Where's the party tonight?
I told everybody to go TGI Fridays tonight in Jackson, Tennessee. So if anybody watching, come out there and turn up with me.
If we weren't flying out, we'd be there ourselves.
Yes,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jalen Barford, what a day. 29 points, 12 assists. And the Jackson Underdogs moving on to championship week at Chicago. So Team Hines moving on from Greensboro. They'll get the Syracuse winner. Loyalty is Love from Lexington. They play the Richmond winner, where Tim and I will be, Carmen's Crew and Salt Lake. And then the Wichita winner getting these boys from the Jackson Underdogs from right here in this Memphis region. What a weekend. For Tim Scarborough, our producer Shelby Wilson, and our entire fantastic crew here in Memphis, Matt Martucci saying so long. 4 bids handed out, 4 more next week. Tim and I will see you in Richmond. TBT 2019. What an opening.